Hello Year 7 and welcome to your next geography lesson on the continent of Africa. Well, we're actually focusing in this lesson and the next few lessons on a particular region in Africa, 4 particular specific countries. Before we get to that though, let's recap all the countries of Africa. I'd like you to write the number 1 in your margin. I'd then like you to write the name of that country. And you'll see I've already done that one for you. You'll see that on the far east coast of Africa. That is Somalia. Put number 2 in the margin. Do you know the name of that country? If so, write it down. Then number 3, and so on until you get to 52. Good luck. In 10 minutes, you're probably not going to get all 52 done, but do as many as you can in that time. You can pause the video now. Okay, well done. Good job. Here are the answers. You've got 5 minutes. Just check through the ones you've done. And in any remaining time in that 5 minutes, have a little look and just remind yourself of a few other countries' names of any that you've missed out. And you can write them down as well. Pause the video now. Okay, excellent. Well, let's get into this lesson properly. The region that I mentioned is called the Horn of Africa. And Somalia, number 1 on your list in the Do Now task, is in fact in the Horn of Africa. So could you write that title down, please? Make sure you underline it. Notice Horn and Africa have capital letters with a question mark at the end. Date it. Hopefully you've already got your pen, you've got your paper. You'll need a ruler as well to underline that title, but that's it for today's lesson. So read through the objectives. You've got a few minutes just to get all of that finished and get the equipment you need if you haven't already. Pause the video now. Excellent. So keyword, well, I mentioned the word region. So if you could jot this sentence down for me, a region is an area of land that has common human or physical features. For example, language. So it could be that all the countries in a region speak the same language. Government, maybe they're all run in a similar way. Religion, maybe everyone in those countries shares a common religion, or most people at least do. Forests and other vegetation, other plants, maybe that defines a region. Maybe certain types of wildlife or the climate is similar. There are other reasons as well why a region may be called that. And it's rarely just one of those things. It's usually a mixture of them. In fact, probably all of them. Your job now, copy that sentence down, leave a line under your title. Should take you 1 minute to write that down. Pause the video now. Okay, so here's the region that we're looking at today. You can see it on the map there in green, and you can see that all the countries border each other. And we're going to move on now to have a look at defining the countries, naming them, and also just writing a location of where the Horn of Africa, this region, is in Africa. Okay, so on the board you've got the map that I just showed you, showing you the region. You've got in the blue box a couple of sentence starters. In the orange sort of box, you've got some guidance, some success criteria in order to write this sentence. So the first thing you're going to write is the Horn of Africa consists of the 4 countries, and you are going to name them. Now, this map is going to be very useful to help you with that. Once you've written the 4 entire countries down, you're then going to write the Horn of Africa is located. I would start, if I were you, with the continent. Where in that continent? You can even tick off a compass direction there. So you can tick off 2 of those bullet points, the compass directions and the continent, straight away in your first point. I'd like you to write at least 3 points. You could talk about bordering countries. You could talk about bodies of water that this region has coastlines with. Don't forget to use compass directions throughout. This should take you 5 minutes. Get at least 3 points done. Copy and complete those 2 sentences in the blue box. Pause the video now. Okay, so here are some ideas. If you didn't manage 3, you can now certainly add these to make at least 3. You may very well want to write all of them. So the Horn of Africa is located in the east of the continent of Africa. It is definitely East Africa. The 4 countries, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Eritrea, and Somalia. It's south of the Middle East, it's southeast of Yemen, north of Madagascar, south of the Gulf of Aden, there's a body of water, south of the Red Sea, northwest or west of the Indian Ocean. I'm sure there are many, many other things you could have written. Those are just a selection. So spend a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, check what you've got written down, add anything you've missed. Pause the video now. Okay, so let's start having a look at these particular countries, these 4 countries. And I've chosen 4 photographs here. They certainly don't represent the whole of a country. It's impossible to show a whole country in one photograph, but they definitely do show you at least a part of that country. So my task for you is to look at those photographs and use them to describe the landscape, the physical landscape of each country. When you've done that, you're going to think about, are there any similarities? Are there any differences? So for example, looking at the Ethiopia photograph there, you can instantly tell something that is very different, certainly to Djibouti and Eritrea. And you can't quite tell from that photograph, but it is relatively different to Somalia. You've got mountains. So the first thing you could write there is Ethiopia has mountains, whereas there is a great connective to show a difference. Ethiopia has mountains, whereas Somalia, Eritrea, and Djibouti seem less mountainous or do not have mountains. Write as many points as you can down in the 10 minutes you've got. Pause the video now. Okay, so here we go. Here are some answers potentially that you could use. Once again, I'm going to ask you to read through them. You can pause the video and add anything that you've missed in 5 minutes. So read through, add anything you've missed, pause the video now. Okay, excellent. So you're starting to get an idea of what the physical geography of these countries is like. Let's look at the climate. Let's build on that. So on the left, you have a map here, what's known as a choropleth map, a map where we're using, in this case, shades of blue to show rainfall. The darker the blue, the more rainfall there is. You'll notice the numbers get higher and it's measuring in millimeters of rain. How many millimeters of rain fall in a year? Annual, meaning a year. So you can clearly see, hopefully, on the map, there are a range of different colors there. Your task is to answer using full sentences the questions on the right. So for example, question 1, how much rainfall is at point X? At point X, there is, put the number in, millimeters of rain. So look at the color, work it out from the key, and off you go. Just to let you know, all 5 colors are on this map. All 5 colors are there. The best way to tell the difference between the colors is to look at this part of the map. And actually, I'm going to use a tool here. If I just get up a pointer, so hopefully you can see that laser pointer. If you look at this color here, that I'm highlighting with the laser pointer now, this is the 0 to 200. We then move slightly darker. We're in the 200 to 600. We move slightly darker. We're in the 600 to 1000. We move slightly darker, both here and here, and we're in the 1000 to 2000. And then there's this region here, this small area here, where we have the 2 to 3000 millimeters. So the colors are the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth, and finally the darkest fifth there. So you can use that to work out what's going on. Answer the questions in full sentences, please. You have 6 minutes. Pause the video now. Okay, excellent. Some answers for you now. Please double check that you've got them correct. You've got 2 minutes to do that. If you get any wrong, make sure that you do go back to the map and try and work out where you went wrong. Was it that you misread a color? Was it that you looked at the wrong part of the map? Was it that you misunderstood what the question was asking you to do? You've got 2 minutes to check and make any corrections. I want everything in your book to be absolutely correct, so neatly cross anything out that's wrong. Pause the video now. Okay, same task here for temperature. You've got 5 temperature colors. If you look carefully, I'm going to bring the pointer back up again. Here's the 10 to 15 degrees. Here's the 15 to 20, the 20 to 25, that more kind of orangey brown color. The largest area, certainly the furthest east, is the 25 to 30, and you can see this band here of the 30 to 35. This is the only band of that temperature in this region. So there we go. This is the summer temperature, as you can see, being north of the equator. July, just like for us, is summer. Answer in full sentences. You've got 6 minutes and answers coming up in a second. Pause the video now. Well done. Okay, here we go. Answers time. Again, double check that you've got them right. If you haven't, neatly cross them out and correct them. You've got 2 minutes to do that. Pause the video now. Okay, there we go. So we've had a brief look, an introduction to the physical geography of this region, naming the 4 countries. And for the next few lessons, we're going to be looking at various different aspects of geography around this region. Sometimes looking at the whole region, sometimes looking at individual countries, sometimes even individual cities and individual people. So thank you very much for your time today. Good luck with all the rest of your work today, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much. Goodbye.